Hello everyone, welcome back to Betta Aquatics PH. If you saw my video on how to breed betta fish, this is now the fry of that one pair that made it successfully. Due to my busy work schedule, I failed to jar them on time. And it has been over 3 months since they hatched, and they are still together in this grow out tank. Luckily for me, this particular breed of betta is not that aggressive, so the males have still their fins and tails intact. This is a rare experience because most of the betta fish I breed before were aggressive, and if you fail to jar them before they get 3 months old, they will certainly have damaged fins due to fighting against each other, especially the males. Ideally, we should jar or separate our betta when they reach around 2 months old. But every time I see an aggressive male, I will readily separate it even if it's still over a month old. Believe me, you can always observe a bully within your batch of fry. Usually a big male or a female that seems to be catching all the foods that are meant for its siblings. I will share with you in this video how I jar my betta fish and give you a bit of information on my culling process. Separating betta fish individually before they become aggressive is very important to protect the beauty of their fins and tails. They will not be called fighting fish without a reason. No one wants to display or even sell a betta fish with damaged tails. On top of that, jarring them will ensure your attention and care on each individual betta in terms of food and regular water change. Since I'm using our tap water that most likely has chlorine in it, it is my practice to stock the water in these 5-gallon containers for at least 3 days before using them for my fish. You may also use an anti-chlorine if you don't have time to stock your water. I already added 1 tablespoon of rock salt in each container. Salt is popular among ornamental fish keepers as a general aid for the health of our fish. And on the second container, I added yesterday dried banana leaves and dried Indian almond leaves. We call it here talisay leaves. So they have been soaked in the water for over 24 hours, causing its brownish color. Both leaves have antibacterial and antifungal properties that can prevent diseases in our betta fish. The Indian almond leaves can also lower the water pH, which is ideal for a betta. This is a must among betta breeders, especially if you are grooming your betta so its vibrant color will truly come out. I also prepared plastic jars of different sizes. All of them are used materials, so I don't have to buy more plastics, thus saving Mother Nature in the process. Not to mention saving money from my own wallet. I am now filling my jars with this stock water. Just around 40% is enough. Then I'm adding brown water soaked with dried banana and Indian almond leaves. Just a little amount will do for the health of your betta fish. The third kind of water is from their grow out tank. That is the water they are used to with certain parameters like ammonia or nitrate level, water pH, and temperature. Sudden change in that water parameters may cause stress and disease in your betta fish. That is also the reason why a lot of hobbyists experience fish fatality after performing a water change. Or sometimes a day after you change the water, your fish suddenly become ill, and after a few days you see it floating lifeless in your tank. Temperature shock is most common to us. That is why we acclimate our newly bought fish before putting it into its new tank to make sure that the water will have the same temperature before releasing our fish. What's not familiar to many of us is what we call osmotic shock. This is a sudden huge drop, particularly with chemicals present in the water, like for example the nitrate level of the water that our fish was used to. So if you haven't changed the water for a long period of time, say over 1 or 2 weeks, then you perform 100% water change, your fish will certainly experience this osmotic shock and may become stressed and may die a few days after such a water change. Of course, there are also other factors like some betta fish breed are really tough, so it also depends on its genetics. So, what I'm saying may not be true to everyone's experience. But if you saw 100% water change in the internet and everything went fine, that is because they may have done a partial water change, perhaps just a few days ago. So there was no sudden change in the nitrate level of the water, and thus changing the water 100% would be okay in that particular case. But in my case right now, where I did 20% water change almost 1 week ago, so I certainly need to worry about osmotic shock. So I'm now using three kinds of water: the new stock water, the brown water with dried Indian almond leaves and dried banana leaves, and the water from their grow out tank. I don't plan to jar every single betta fish here, so I will only choose the male and few females that I like. Depending on your available space and resources, you may also jar every betta, including all the females. But as for me, I already have a lot of betta occupying my backyard, so I need to maximize my space and jar only the males and few select female. So this is the tank where I put the rest of the females. I let them grow here where in the future I may select a female from this tank also for breeding purposes. For this breed, it is easier to spot the male because this is a half moon strain. So the male would have longer tails. You may also spot the male of the short-tailed betta or the half-moon placat strain by its long ventral fins and slender body compared to the female, which has more rounded body. This is the blue samurai that I also jarred a day ago, and they are short-tailed or a half-moon placat. I breed from black samurai and marble betta. The bigger the jar, the better, so you don't have to change the water frequently. If you have this 6 liter or 8 liter water bottle jar, once a week 40% change will do. Twice a week water change, of course, would be a lot better. But if you are using a smaller jar, say a 1.5 liter bottle jar, you certainly need to change the water at least twice a week for you to maintain a healthy betta fish. If you fail to do so, that might cause a stunted growth even if you are feeding them live foods. One of the methods I use to control the ammonia in the water is by putting some live plants into each jar like this. I use easy to maintain aquatic plants like duckweeds, hornswort, and gappy grass, and they also don't require a lot of sunlight. Indirect sunlight would be sufficient for them to thrive. So this is really helpful considering that their jar has no water filtration system. I even experienced a month without a water change, and my betta is still really healthy because of the hornswort and the duckweed that I put inside the jar. But you don't want to gamble the health of your betta fish by trying that. Doing a regular water change is still the best option. While growing in their individual jar, you may start the culling process, but this will really depend on your purpose. If you only have one batch of fry and has a lot of space and time, and you are just into breeding betta for the sake of having a pet, you don't need to cull your betta. But if you are into serious breeding and you are making it for a profit and for maintaining or developing a quality betta fish, you certainly need to cull your betta. That means you only select those betta with good form and desirable color. You focus and invest your time and effort to them, and you eliminate the rest. So many serious breeders also have monster fish where they feed the undesirable betta to them, like what is happening in nature, fish preying on another fish. That may sound harsh, but the selection process by breeders resulted in the beautiful betta fish we have today. Betta keepers around the world have this standard form, especially used in betta show or contest. Those with the best form, color, and even demeanor of the fish wins. So if you have that in mind, you better start by culling your betta so as to improve your own breed. For every batch of fry, you can only expect to sell, if you are into business, around 50% of the fry when they grow up. So better select and breed only the betta that has a high market value, so you wouldn't be wasting your own resources. So I hope this little information I shared will help you in your betta keeping. If you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, please extend your support and appreciation by hitting on that subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching.